Hi, my name's S.Williams, and I'm a kindergarten special education teacher at Shannon Johnson in Berea, Kentucky. And I'm here to talk to you about CCI. First, I want to tell you about the demographics of my class. I teach kindergarten special education. I have 5 students who I provide resource for reading and for math, and those are the students that participate in the CCI program here in my resource group. If you ask me about how do I build a community in my classroom, the way that I do that is first we started with the mission statement. When the students first came to me for the first few days, we talked about the rules and expectations in gen ed class and special ed class, but then also we talked about what it meant to be a community of learners. We talked about that we had a goal that all students at the end of kindergarten need to be reading at a level D. So we worked together as a group to come up with our mission statement. Since my students are special ed kindergarten, I had to do a lot of prompting, but the students were able to give me a lot of different good feedback about things that they were willing to do to meet our goal. So, for example, students were giving me examples that they were going to work hard, that they were going to follow the rules, and things like that, and that they were really excited that they needed to do those things to meet the goal. If you ask me about how I developed CCI in the classroom, I had a struggle with figuring out how to perform CCI for students in kindergarten. It was a struggle because my students usually have low cognitive levels, so I needed to provide lots of visuals for the students in my classroom. So that was the biggest struggle that I found, was trying to fit the CCI program into students with special needs. But once I took the leap and worked through it, and it took several years for me to finally get to where I'm at, but the students have really responded, and I've seen a lot of growth in the students because of CCI. If you were going to ask me how does it look at data in comparison since I've used CCI, I would say that the students are now well aware of what the learning target is. The students are well aware of how they performed in comparison to their similar aged peers. They're also able to see what they need to work on and how they need to work to get there. If you were to ask me how is it with closing the gap in my resource group, all of the students usually in this resource group are all on the same playing field. They all have a disability of some sort for them to be in here with me. All the students I have seen who have been able to do the CCI program from beginning to end all have made improvements at the same rate, and I say that that is from PDSA. If you ask me on how the students feel engaged with using PDSA, I feel that we are able to work together as a community, me and the students, in finding activities that are engaging to them. They feel like they have a choice in the matter, and usually towards the middle and end of the year, students feel like they have more of a voice. In the beginning of kindergarten, it's a lot harder for students to really feel full control in the classroom, but towards the middle and end, students feel like they can run the classroom in this resource group. If you were to ask me what would I say to other teachers about using CCI, I would definitely say you should give it a try. The proof is in the results. I have seen results. I have seen other teachers who have used CCI, and if you use it with fidelity, you will see results in your students. So I'm going to give you a quick tour of the way I use PDSA in my resource group. So first I have my learning goal that students are all going to be reading at a level D. I chart this here with this large chart that each student is represented with a dot, where currently they are where they're supposed to be, and they know that the end goal is that they will be reading at a level D. We talk about the different levels that it's going to take them to get to be reading on a level D, which in my case each level is going to be a different IEP goal that we work towards that goal. When you look at my PDSA board as a whole, of course my learning target is always going to focus on a standard, but it is also going to directly correlate with the IEP goal. We have a Fun Friday assessment. That's when we do our assessment and we do our plus delta and we really go over our do. In this row, this is where I pick the things that I'm going to be doing each week, and this is where the students get to pick on what they're going to be doing. All of this right here is a strategy bank that all the students, we pick and choose about the different activities that they're going to use. Also, then when we go to study on Fun Friday, I take them out, I give them their quick assessment on if they did well. If they did well, they get to put their clothespin on the thumbs up side. If they did not, then they are going to be putting it on the thumbs down side. So then also, when we come back in after the assessment, the students can judge on how all of the class did. If they did a good job, then we can talk about that with the plus delta. Students are really good at able to tell me the things that they felt helped them that week, but they're really struggling with the things that didn't help them. So that's where we're still in the process with the language and learning about each other in the activities. On Fun Friday, all of these are gone, and then that's where we talk about the do's on what worked for us. If it worked for us, then we give it a thumbs up. But if it didn't work for us, then we give it a thumbs down. So this is just a different way that we talk about how we can change the do. And then we start back next week with another learning goal and go that route. I also have a focus wall, which this correlates straight with the learning target for each week. It talks about the letters and the math because I do both reading and math in the resource. Up here I have my mission statement where I always refer back to when students are misbehaving and not following the things that they promised me that they would do to reach the goal. I also work on it in math. I have my goal in math that all students will be at an AVMR level, that they're testing curriculum that we use, that they'll be at a level 13. So I work on the individual goals, which all of them have an IEP goal that focuses on a number and focuses on one-to-one correspondence. We are in the process of learning all of our strategies. So in math, we have not completed all of our strategies just yet. Once we have completed that, then we will have a better do system on how we will pick our do's. But currently, I'm still in the process of introducing my strategies. We do the same thing. We go out in the hallway. I see if they can identify the number, and if they can do one-to-one correspondence. We come back in, we talk about it, and then we make changes as needed, and then introduce a new strategy. Also, whenever my students are working on different activities, I also use a popsicle stick with the activity on it. So whenever I pull it out of the basket, it'll be a hundredths chart. And this will correlate with one of the strategies, that way they can identify the strategy with the board, and then finally they will no longer need these prompts and they can be faded away. But overall, this is my PDSA, and I've really enjoyed it, and my students have, and they honestly have enjoyed, and they've really seen results. I also do a data folder, which students are able to mark if they have reached their goal or have not reached their goal. Then they also get to graph the results at the end of each month. And then it leads to discussions on how they have met their goals, and the students really enjoy being able to color in and seeing the results of their student data folders. But overall, I'm really happy with PDSA, and it's been great. Thanks for watching.